Open trap door. You open the trap door. Down. As you drop to the floor, the trapdoor suddenly slams shut above you. You hear noises outside, something thumping against the door, and low voices. You hear someone muttering, and a brief round of unpleasant laughter. Then the voices drift away. Church cellar. Centipedes and beetles scurry away across the rotten floorboards as you shine your light across the room. Over in the corner sits a hulking shape of black metal that was probably once a wood-burning furnace. Aside from that, the cellar looks empty. A dark alcove, the shadows within too thick to see through, opens in the west wall, and a trapdoor in the ceiling leads back up to the outside. The very edge of your lights glow. You can just make out a horribly suggestive shape lying in the shadows behind the furnace. Couple of things to look at here. It's a big, pot-bellied iron furnace, blackened from years of use, with a hatch on one side and numerous twisting pipes, which snake out of the top and grope their way up to the ceiling. You can just make out a fresh blood stain underneath the hatch. Drips down the side of the furnace in several streaks. Your throat tightens as you slowly open the blood-stained hatch. Slow horror washes over you. It's the real estate agent's severed head. Holy crap. It's the gore-spattered head of the real estate agent. You recognize her from the cover of a brochure she sent you in the mail several months ago. Her eyes are still open and the mouth thrown wide in a silent scream. Take head. You'd just as soon leave the repulsive thing alone. Put head in pocket. Really? It's the dead body of a woman. Her head has been raggedly hacked away, and the clothes above the waist are soaked through with blood. As you fight to control your rising gorge, you note that the body cannot have been here for very long. The decay, though bad, is not very far advanced. She must have been killed within the last couple of days at most. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 days. And it was also Michael, I bet. Search body. Gingerly, what? Gingerly trying to avoid the worst of the blood, you lift the woman's lapel, hoping to find something. Identification, maybe. Her wallet is missing, however. Her wallet is missing. However, you do find, tucked into the pocket of her blazer, a small steel key. I'm just thinking if there were any more doors that are still locked. And I think the one that we have, or the one that is locked is the lighthouse door, right? Put steel key on key ring. What? Oh, keyring is one word? A skittering movement from the corpse makes you jump. When you look again, you see it's only an insect crawling across her blouse. Creepy. That's my own stuff though, right? Okay, so what else was there? Yeah. Opens the west wall. Empty stairwell. This alcove used to be a stairwell leading up and down. Now it contains only a few rotted boards jutting from the walls and an empty shaft dropping down out of sight. Above you hang the broken off remains of the stairs leading up to the ground floor. The last shattered riser, only a couple of tantalizing feet out of reach. Should I have brought the broom? From far below, you hear the faint lapping of water. The walls of the shaft are rough stone, dropping down farther than you can see. It looks as though it might bear your weight. Unfortunately, it's just a couple of feet beyond your reach. Jump. Take a few steps back, draw in a deep breath, and make a dash for the edge. The last possible second you jump, sailing out over the pit as you make a desperate grab for the bottom riser and catch it. Unfortunately, you lose your grip. Oh, you lose your grip on the meat hook while trying to grab the riser, and it tumbles into the darkness below. The riser bends ominously under your weight, but it doesn't give. Panting, you haul yourself up onto the creaking stairs. Broken chairs. The stairs stop short, about 7 feet shy of the basement floor. The bottommost steps hanging suspended over an empty shaft that descends beyond sight into the shadowy depths. What's left of the structure creaks and shifts uneasily under your feet. At the top of the stairs to the north, a doorway opens onto the ground floor of the church. The creaking under your feet is getting louder. I'll undo this, because I don't want to lose the meat hook. Can I just go down? The pit at your feet is dark and fathomless. There's no way to safely descend from here. Okay. Put all in coat. Jump. Vestibule. A dim antechamber, opening onto the main chapel to the east. To the west, the main doors to the church have been solidly nailed shut, and through a shadowy doorway to the south, you can see stairs leading down. Piled in one dusty corner is a heap of old cloth. Yeah, I mean, I don't know yet how I'm supposed to get out of here, of course, right? Because the doors are all sealed shut. I don't think I can get out of there. And going back down might be difficult. Maybe we'll like fall or tumble down, we'll see. X heap of cloth. It's a hooded robe left in a rumpled heap on the floor. From the stairwell behind you, there's a sudden painful shriek of nails ripping out a stone. A loud, protracted splintering, and finally a thunderous crash that seems to echo up the shaft far below. So yeah, I guess I won't be going back that way. Search robe. You find nothing of interest. Take robe. Wear robe? Okay. Why? Put robe in pocket. No matter how tightly you roll up the heavy robe, it's still too big to fit in your pocket. Take off trench coat. Put coat in robe. That can't contain things. It doesn't have any pockets, right? Put coat in pocket. You can't put something inside itself. Okay. Wear robe. You put on the hooded robe. Okay. The main entrance of the church has been nailed shut. There's no way out of here. Oh god. Chapel. Broken shards from the shattered... What? Broken shards from the shattered stained glass windows grits under your feet as you step around rows of overturned pews. The dust and cobwebs have been busy here, reclaiming another bit of this town's abandoned history. To the west lies the vestibule. To the east, a small doorway behind the pulpit leads to the back of the church. The big wooden cross that once hung above the pulpit has fallen, split in half. On the pulpit is a huge black tome. Where once fiery-tongued preachers harangued congregations of quaking Puritans, now there is simply a dusty wooden box on its end. Sitting atop it is a huge black-bound tome. It's hardly larger than your hand. Oh no, that's something else though, right? Didn't worry about that. Fair enough. How about windows? The stained glass windows are old and coated with grime, and many of the panels have been broken out by time and vandals. Enough remains for you to make out most of the designs depicted in them. However, and you find them vaguely disturbing. Saints, at least none of the saints you're aware of, should not be depicted performing such acts, nor with such insidious leers on their faces as they perform them. Take window panel. Take window. Hardly pulled. Take panel. Examine pews. Once orderly procession of benches is now a jackstraw jumble of broken wood. Examine the cross. From the way it fell, it looks as though it must have been hung upside down. Oh, Satanists. Take cross. Too heavy for you to lift. Okay. I'll look at the tome. Do you mean the huge black tome, or... It lies open atop the pulpit, thicker than an unabridged dictionary. Its thousands of yellowed, crinkly pages are bound in strange black material that looks like some kind of hide, but clearly isn't leather. Oh, it's human skin, isn't it? Your first thought was that it might be the Bible, but a glance is sufficient to tell you otherwise. The next within is arranged in 2 columns, the first in what looks like Latin, the second a translation in English. There are illustrations as well, horrible icons that make your skin crawl to look at. Stained glass windows are tame by comparison. At least the saints depicted there look remotely human. Read black tone. As you lean closer over the pages to make out the words in this dim light, the letters seem to writhe and crawl across the page, twisting themselves into strange combinations. Horrible words that you've never heard before, never read before. And yet somehow you can understand the repulsive meaning. Something about blessed event, which will happen very soon, and a hideous god whose name may not be spoken. Is this the book that was preached in this church before it fell to ruin? Are these the gods these people worshipped? You want to tear your eyes from the page in revulsion, but some small, gleefully filthy part of you wants to keep reading. To uncover the secrets that the people of Anchorhead uncovered. Will you read on? Probably a bad idea, right? Read. Read on. Yes. You have gone utterly mad. As your hungry eyes lap up word after blasphemous word, it all becomes clear to you. You come to understand the true nature of he who is named not, and what the Verlex were trying to accomplish all these years, preparing the people of Anchorhead for the blessed event. It all makes sense to you now. It's a pretty powerful book if it can just make you mad and convert you. If you just read it for a bit. You step back, smiling from the podium. There's no need to be afraid, you realize, for neither yourself nor your husband are in any danger. It's all right. It all makes sense. And when you raise your hands to your face and slowly push the fingernails of your first and middle fingers into each eye, digging the soft, bloody tissue out and dragging it down your cheeks in ropey smears, why, that's all right too. It's the most natural thing in the world. Undo. No. Step away from the podium with a shudder. It's probably too big, right? A horrid coldness seeps into your fingers as you try to pick the book up. It flows from the book itself into your body, soaking into your bones and making your back teeth ache. Quickly, you set the book down again, absently trying to rub the unpleasant sensation from your hands. Okay. East. Behind the chapel. This little room behind the chapel is hardly bigger than a broom closet. A ladder bolted to the wall leads up through a hatch, presumably up in the steeple. There. It's an ordinary wooden ladder. Steeple. Tiny space inside the tip of the church steeple, barely 5 feet across, the walls tapering to only 2 feet across, some 12 feet above your head. There's a narrow window, but it seems to have been painted black at some point. The only exit seems to be the ladder from which you just emerged. An old length of rope dangles down from a square hole cut in the ceiling. It's about 20 feet long, frayed in a few places, but still sturdy enough. You tug on the rope, but it seems firmly attached to whatever it's tied to at the top of the steeple. Pull rope. I mean, I'll probably need it if I want to get out of here, right? Or I could, like, smash the window. If it's just been painted black and not actually barred up. Open window. Window. Adamantly stuck shut. Unlock window. Smash window. Well, why not? Tell me why not? Why isn't smashing the window the answer here? Climb rope. You haul yourself up onto the rope, bringing your whole weight to bear. It holds for about 3 seconds, then there is a sharp snap from above you and a muffled clank. The rope falls, spilling you to the floor amidst an untidy tangle of coils. Take rope. What's with a window? Clean window? Look through window? The stairs are completely gone now. All that's left is a narrow ledge overlooking an empty shaft. The fair portion of the railing still nailed to the wall. This length of railing is the only part of the stairs that didn't pull free of the wall and go crashing into the empty shaft below. I don't know, is it stable? Tie rope to railing. Tie the rope securely to the railing, letting the other end dangle down into the dark shaft. From far below you hear the faint lapping of water. Down? Ah, okay. Put all in coat. Unfortunately this means that I can't take the take off robe. Wear coat. Coat. Wear coat. This means I can't take the rope, right? Take robe. Down. Drop coat into hole. No! Drop robe into hole. The hooded robe drops down out of sight, and a few seconds later you hear a faint splash. Gripping the end of the rope tightly, you lower yourself off the edge and shimmy down into the darkness, hanging from the rope. Your feet dangle over an empty space. Looking down, you can barely make out a faint glimmer of water far below. Can I just go west? You're at the end of the rope. There's nowhere else to go. Oh. Faint glimmer of water far below. South, east. Up. Looking stairs. Why can't I go back down into the cellar? You need both hands free before you can climb down that rope, but I do have both hands free. Let go. Rope. Rope dropped? What? Where am I? Down. Down. You take a deep breath, shut your eyes tight, say a quick prayer, and let go of the rope. The hard-stopping plunge lasts only a second or two before you hit shockingly cold water. Your flashlight goes out and blackness envelops you. Why does it go out? It's supposed to be waterproof. Water rushes into your mouth and nose. The stone bottom slams into your side and nearly knocks the wind out of you. And then you find your feet and your head breaks the surface. Blindly, you trash about until you find higher ground, and you crawl, choking and sputtering, feeling cold brick beneath your fingers. It is pitch dark and you can't see a thing. Your score has just gone up by 2 points. Can I? The flashlight must not be quite as waterproof as you originally thought. The beam flickers unsteadily, and you have to hang it against the palm of your hand a couple of times to get it to work. Bang it, rather. Not very heavy duty, high quality then. Vaulted tunnel. The walls of this long rectangular chamber are made of crumbling brick. Not concrete. Most likely it was built at some earlier period than the rest of the tunnels. The ceiling is lost in darkness above you, but from the sounds of the echoes it must be pretty high. I know where I am. Water flowing in from the northwestern tunnel has pooled in a depression sunk into the limestone floor, becoming quite deep near the end. The shattered wreckage of the church stairway lies half submerged in the water-filled depression. You're lucky to have missed it in your fall. You can also see a hooded rope here. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if you actually need that awareness of like taking the rope with you, but it might help. Thing is, if I put on the rope, I mean, I can still hold my trench coat in my hands. Also, I'm slightly afraid that my flashlight's gonna go out pretty soon. Take rope. So I'll save. Rusty nails and jagged broken boards jut from the water like teeth. You're very lucky you weren't impaled when you fell. Take nail. Take board. It's hardly portable. Northwest. The flashlight beam flickers uncertainly for a moment, then comes back a bit weaker than before. So I can go up, and I'll end up under the bridge. Or, of course, I mean, I can bring up my map here. Good thing we have that. So we're here now. Go through the dripping tunnel to the broken tunnel. And use this outflow tunnel to reach the narrow beach. Which would then mean I'd still have to go past the real estate office and the pub end here. I mean, where do I even want to go? To the lighthouse, presumably? I don't know. Otherwise, I'd have to go past the riverbank and through the town square, and that might be dangerous. What if I go north? Up. East. Right, now I'm at the narrow beach. West. Oh, northwest, okay. Next to the real estate office. Do I want to go in there? I don't think so. So I want to go further west. Narrow street. There appears to be a commotion of sorts to the south, where a group of townsfolk have gathered. So if I go south, that's probably not going to be good, right? Group of wary-looking townsfolk has gathered, keeping a watchful eye on the streets leading to and from the bridge. Yeah. You have died, yeah. The game is up. You turn to run, but already the men are on your heels. There is no time to run. Heavy boots on the cobblestones, hands lunging toward you. They are everywhere, grabbing you from every side, immobilizing you. Someone's huge, callous paw closes around your windpipe and starts to squeeze. Just before you black out, you can feel yourself being lifted off your feet. So... where am I? Okay. Northwest. What happens if I go up here? North. Unlock. Put all in coat. I mean, I wonder if putting on the rope helps. Undress. Put on robe. Move. Close door. Nothing here. There appears to be a commotion of sorts to the north, where a group of townsfolk have gathered. So in order to pass the bridge, I guess I'll have to go through the sewers all of the time, unless I'm wearing the robe. Let's try. Yeah. So wearing the robe doesn't really help. Okay. So northwest. Up. Unlock door. Put all in coat. North. Southwest. Southeast. West. West. South. South. Nothing new here though, right? Airy strains of vacuous elevator music waft through the room from invisible speakers. Unlock gate. Switch off light. North. North. East. Like, do I even want to go anywhere on this side of the city though? I mean, I could go back to the house, but why would I? Could also go back here, but I think I've done all that. I mean, other than that, I could go to the shacks and show her the teddy bear. Anything else that we have that we didn't have before? Oh, that's right, we have that new key that might fit with the lighthouse. Okay, so let's load then. Northwest. Up. unlock door. Switch off light. North. Light. North. Close door. Switch off light. Put all in code. Wrong though. What am I doing? So, northwest, north, up, west, east. Switch off light. Southwest. West, southwest, northwest, west. Do I want to go into the pub? Nah. Want to go to the university? I don't think so. North, east. No, wait. Knock on 11. Show woman Teddy. The woman's eyes widen in sudden recognition, and she takes the teddy bear from you, turning it over to read the name stitched on the back. Tears well up in her eyes, spilling over onto her pale, sunken cheeks. "This is my boy's," she whispers. "This is Jeffrey's." She looks at you suddenly. "Where did you find this? Did you find..." But then she stops. She can see from your face that you have not found her son. Only this one clue, but even one clue, however tenuous, offers possibility. And the woman's face softens, just a little bit, with something that you guess hasn't made its home there in very, very long time. Hope. "Come in," she says softly. "Thank you for bringing me this. Please, come in." She steps aside from the door, and you enter her home. 11 Milltown Road. A dirty, ramshackle home, scraped together out of the bits and ends of working-class poverty. The floor is warped and broken wood, bare dirt showing through the cracks between boards. Rags hang across the window in lieu of curtains. Over in the far corner is a rickety old stove. In the opposite corner, a threadbare cot. It hits you suddenly that a family of 3 once lived, slept, and ate all in this single room, which is slightly smaller than your bedroom back at the house. The woman watches you expectantly. On the threadbare cot is a teddy bear. A set of grime-smeared overalls hangs on a hook next to the front door to the west. Your score has just gone up 2 points. She's pale and thin from lack of food. Her hair is prematurely grey. The dismal poverty and constant fear that she's lived in all her life have leached her body of its youth, leaving her aged before her time. Stooped and scarred with worry, she clutches a tattered shawl, its fabric the faded color of old dishwasher. Close around her throat, and she watches you the way a wounded rabbit might watch a potentially hungry cat. They look like a normal set of industrial overalls, the kind of uniform you'd see mill workers in. Stitched into the fabric just above the breast pocket is the name Max. Ask her about Max. She smiles, sad and wistful. Max did maintenance work up at the mill, she says. Until the accident. Quote-unquote accident, right? It was 5 years ago this September. One of the big presses must have malfunctioned. They told me there were no remains to speak of. She sighs. Max was a good man. He took care of Jeffrey and me. I keep his overalls there to remember him by. Ask for overalls. pale, frightened woman has better things to do. It's old and threadbare, its fur worn through the stuffing in some places. Stitched onto its behind is the name Jeffrey. X shawl. It's a thin, threadbare old thing. The glass is coated with grime and cracked in one pane. Looking closely, you see faint marks, like sucker marks almost, scored across the sill. Oh, it's a tentacle monster, isn't it? The thought of what would have possibly left those marks makes you distinctly uneasy. Right. What could we show her? I mean, why did she ask us to come in the first place? Just to be friendly, like thanks for bringing the teddy? Let's just stand here and not say anything. Unless they're your umbrella, book a mattress, jewelry box, tavern notice, and a lantern. Ask her about Jeffrey. It came in the night, the woman tells you, her voice barely above a whisper. Just like when it took all the other children over the years. It came through the window and took him away while we slept. Tentacle monster. From the slaughterhouse. The woman's voice breaks, and she shakes her head, trying not to weep. Without my Jeffrey, I don't know if I can go on. The look implores you. If you do find him, please tell me. Please bring my boy back to me. The woman's eyes grow wide. Have you seen it? She whispers. No one else has seen it, but we all know it's out there. It takes children. It's always taken children. And now it's taken my Jeffrey. She shakes her head. I don't know much about these folks, except that they're bad all the way through. Try to stay away from their business. They say it was Edward who was stealing all those children. But I guess that was never true. I never met him, and I never wanted to. I do know one thing, though. He never took any children. The woman shudders. What took those children was something altogether different. Something monstrous. She's just gonna say the same thing for all the Verlags that she knows, right? I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe the 2 points is all we get out of this. Ask her about Anchorhead. The woman's face grows bitter. The people here are not right. There's something horrible about this whole town. Police won't help me find Jeffrey. They say they're searching for him, but I don't think they are. What's worse, I think they know where he is, and they're keeping him from me. Shanty town. Paper mill. The woman's expression grows hard and bitter. They keep us like animals, she says, indicating the shack, the town, the poverty around her. We're forced to live in the company housing, but all our food and goods come from the company. All on the pittance the company gives us. She bites the lower lip. And now I don't even get that. With Max gone, I'm drawing compensation, which was barely enough to feed Jeffrey and me before. She stops as her lips begin to tremble. About company. Ask her about shack. Ask her about town. Pittance. Okay. Ask her about slaughterhouse. The woman presses her fist against her mouth and looks away. No, she says softly. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. I can't believe my little boy could be down in that. She breaks off, unable even to complete the thought. I can't see her. Why not? Maybe she knows Howard Biedermeier, the police officer? No. Maybe she knows Timothy Reeves? The last girl that disappeared that we know of is Tara Luffington. Doesn't seem to know her. Should we Isle de Bauloth? The woman turns to you wide-eyed as you start to form the word, and her fingers jab at you, forked in the sign of the evil eye. I would prefer it, she whispers, through tight, pale lips, if you did not speak that name in my house. Okay. I think that's it though, right? Am I missing something? Lighthouse, maybe? Okay. Leave. What was that, west? Yeah. Entrance to the paper mill. A gate of heavy iron bars. Let's go to the lighthouse. Northeast. Unlock door. None of them seems to fit. So we did find a metal key on the dead real estate agent, right? But now that I think of it, it's probably just the key to the real estate office, which doesn't get us much because we were already in there. Or oh, wait a second. Wasn't there like a drawer in the desk that was closed or something? Aha! Okay, wait, southeast. Yeah, that's just the uneasy water. Northwest. Southwest. West. What? Southwest? West. South. East. 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 Top of the desk is littered with paperwork, notes, messages, files, etc. The way most desks tend to get at the end of a busy day. Telephone sits on the corner next to a digital answering machine. There's a small drawer to one side. Open drawer. Unlock drawer. The small steel key fits the lock. There we go. Unlock the drawer. Open drawer. Score's just gone up by 2 points. We're getting there, people, we're getting there. You open the drawer, revealing a hastily written letter and a tarnished bronze key. That's the key to the lighthouse, I bet. Put tarnished bronze key on keychain. Put maybe just bronze. Wait, what? Huh? Inventory. Take bronze key. You pick up the tarnished bronze key. It's heavy and apparently very old, crusted over in places with thin rime of verdigris. Key ring. Take letter. The hastily written letter. You pick up the hastily written letter. It consists of several pages torn from a yellow legal pad and stapled in the corner. Each page is covered on both sides, top to bottom, with erratic, frightened handwriting. It is dated 2 days ago, the day you arrived in Anchorhead. Read letter. Alright, that's a long one. The letter reads, "To whom it may concern, my name is Claudia Benson, and I attest that I am of sound mind and body, at least for what little time I have left. If you're reading this anywhere within the city limits of Anchorhead, be aware that your life is in grave and immediate danger. Nearly all of the inhabitants of the cities are members of a secret cult that has thrived since before the first settlers arrived here in the early 1600s and is still strong today. Its members are fanatical and quite insane and will kill anyone who learns their secrets. I received a phone call early this morning, which I believe is a threat to my life. I assume the cult somehow discovered that I was planning to divulge information to an outsider and now plans to silence me. In case I don't make it, I'm leaving this testimony for someone to find. Hopefully it'll be someone who can put a stop to this madness once and for all." Why did she lock it in the door then? And the only key to the door is on her body, which she got murdered and then dragged off. I don't know. Yeah, so there's this cult, probably tied to the Verlag family. Been in this town for the entire time. This explains why everyone's like so cold and distant. No one really wants to talk to us here. Except for that shop owner and then the mother of Jeffrey, of course. The cult originally evolved from the rituals of the ancient Misket Indian tribe that once lived in this region. Although this tribe is now extinct, its beliefs have been passed down relatively unchanged through generations of settlers for nearly 4 centuries. These beliefs center around the worship of some sort of demon or god from the outer reaches of space, which visited the Earth millions of years ago and will return someday to wreak terrible destruction. I am unclear on the exact details, as there is very little historical information available on this tribe, unless the university is hiding material from me, which I am half convinced it may well be. You read about them, though, in the library? The stuff that Michael checked out? The ringleaders of this cult are and have always been the Verlac family. There we go. Every second generation a male Verlac is born, and the role of high priest is passed down from grandfather to grandson. High priest, Following some arcane ritual of ascension, there is a persistent legend that this ritual somehow involves a transmigration of souls. I knew it. That in fact all male Verlacs are actually the reincarnation of the original founder of the American line, Croceus Verlac. Although this is obviously nothing more than a local superstition. No, it isn't. The legend has such a hold on the people in the region that it may have become a self-perpetuating delusion on the part of the members of the Verlac family, each male child honestly believing that he is his own grandfather reborn. Edward Verlac rejected this obscene birthright, and I believe that the townspeople drove him to insanity for it. I mean, there's obviously something actually supernatural going on here, right? It's not just people being driven mad. I mean, unless I'm being driven mad, and the hole in the sky and the portal we saw under the earth were just products of our imagination as well. Regardless of the truth behind those legends, the cult is planning to act very soon. In the 1920s, Edward's grandfather Mordecai Verlac began preaching that the return of the nameless god was imminent, specifically that it would occur the day after tomorrow. He reopened the defunct paper mill, converting it into a factory to build some sort of device, beacon, which to facilitate the nameless god's entry into this world. This device is very nearly finished, and in 2 days they will be ready to enact their great ritual, what they call the Blessed Event, will most likely entail the wholesale slaughter of every non-cultist man, woman and child in the city. The child abductions of the past few years were most likely preparatory sacrifices perpetrated by the cult, and there is no reason to believe that the killing will stop once their great ritual is complete. If you are, in fact, the young man who planned to move into the Verlac estate, you must be careful. The cult is almost certainly watching your every move, and will attempt to induct and brainwash you into their cult, or, failing that, murder both you and your wife. I'd hoped to warn you upon your arrival, however, as the message on my answering machine this morning attests. Before I continue reading, now I forgot what I wanted to say here. Oh yeah. I mean, now it's all spelled out very clearly, right? But I think it's very cool of this game to structure this in a way that you can find out a lot of this stuff before it's spelled out for you directly. And we did that, and that's pretty cool. I don't have much time left. With any luck, I'll be out of the city by tonight. No. If I don't make it, please try to stop these people. This key might help. I managed to dig it out of our old property file on the lighthouse. I know they consider that building important for some reason. Do what you can with it, and be careful. These cultists are a menace, in bed and insane to the last man, and none will be safe until they are wiped off the face of the earth. Good luck, and be careful. Claudia Benson.